Hey, let's get meta. How you doing? What's going on out there? I was just thinking, this is the 4th video, and trust me, I'll stop counting them, but when it's video number 4, it's pretty easy to remember. But before a week ago, I never listened to Babymetal. You know, the things that tend to work and not work are always pretty ridiculous on a channel, and it reminds me of when I'm talking to people for the first time and they start asking me, like, what do you do? What do you do? And then you're like, oh yeah, I create stuff. Like, what do you do? It's like, well, I got a YouTube channel. Like, oh, okay, cool, that's cool. Yeah, what is it? I'm like, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm like, no, what is it? So tell them, and they look it up, and they're like, does that say 270,000 subscribers? I'm like, yeah, but it's not what you think it is. I'm like, I'll check it out, man. It's like, no, I really don't. Like, really, it's probably not for you. It's 100% not gonna be for you. Because randomly, this is not the shit you should be watching. And if I see him again, I always know it's not some shit they're into because they don't mention it. When you make stuff and people look at it, if they think it's dope, they're gonna tell you. And if they don't think it's dope, they'll just never mention it ever again. That being said, I think Babymetal is pretty fucking cool. 4 songs into it. Last one had the shamisen in it. Let's go to METALIZM. And this is like new shit, right? This is like last month. Fuck it, let's go. Okay, those loud ass horns are very reminiscent of what's going on in K-pop right now with Blackpink and Black Swan and Zen. Those really low brass are like very in style right now. And it makes sense because they sound fucking great. EDM? Is it EDM? It can't be EDM. Okay, that's also fucking awesome, but I also like EDM, so what happened to the metal? Oh, they're also doing that, I think it's Battle My Production stuff, sidechain compression, where like when the drums hit, at least the bass drum or something, bass drum snare, it's actually sucking the bass out of the mix. So the bass really sounds like it's throbbing. Like every time the drums hit, it's like dude, I do fuck with this though. Counter melody. The opening melody is now the counter melody. It's very much an Eastern style melody. Okay, that's sick. I was wondering what the drop was gonna be. The drop is the old bass line, but what's different about it? Is it missing a beat? Or not missing a beat, you know, it's got like a rest in there, and then now the guitar is playing a Eastern style line that is very reminiscent of that opening melody, that slash counter melody. What makes a melody, right? Right, how you put the notes together. Obviously, we do something boring, right? Like jazz, whatever. But like, right? It's the distances between the notes, the half steps being emphasized more than whole steps in arpeggios, right? Arpeggios being the chords. Very equal spacing would be like a major scale. Whoops, playing the wrong thing. Or even minor. Sorry, that's harmonic minor. But as soon as you start changing those up a little bit, for harmonic minor, right, or Phrygian dominant. Yeah, just like, you need, people are like, why do I have these stupid labels? You have to have labels for the sounds, so that way when you're talking, you can actually, if someone else knows the same label, then you know you're talking about the same thing, right? Cheeseburger, different from hamburger, different than chicken sandwich, different than turkey sandwich. Those are all labels for a set of ingredients. By having labels that we can all agree on, we can talk about different variations of the same. Fucking. I sweep that shit. Sweeps though, I don't know how much y'all care about guitar shit. The sweeps though are not using the exotic scales. The sweeps are more a normal type of sound. Interesting. I think maybe because the exotic scales don't lend themselves to sweeping. Probably. When you're doing a technique that's really fucking cool, you need to make sure you play lines that work with the technique you're doing. And it might be, I'm not really good at sweep picking. Probably the location of all the half steps inside of these different scales probably don't make it really good for going across multiple strings, unless you're gonna do super fucking wide spacing. I just gotta point out what I'm hearing, because we've jumped so far forward in time, all the little bar flutters and whammy bar stuff, all of it's very, very, very different than this shit 10 years ago, or 8 years or 7, whenever the old stuff's from, which is awesome, because it's great for people. People should develop, you can't be the same all the time. Bro, I might have to see them in concert. Y'all said Death Clock's playing with them? I think they're gonna be here in September. This looks fucking like a fucking great time. Great singing. I guess we're just gonna talk about fucking music and theory this whole fucking time. So the actual structure, I wish I could remember how the whole thing was going so far. It's very much drone based, which is, you can define, free music lesson. The way you define any style of music from anywhere in the world, the easiest way is to define what's considered consonant and what's considered dissonant in that style, and then how do you use those elements to make the overall structure. And so very much typically in Western music, we have chord movement. It doesn't matter if you're talking about Bach or Beethoven or fucking John Mayer or death metal. It's usually very much based around chords moving somewhere and coming back and having different sections. This is more, to me, it's got much of like a very Eastern Indian flair, where the chord is staying very stable, and what is developing is the notes against the chord, going further away and coming back, but the chord is staying relatively. So let's use that same, sorry if this bores you, I'm interested. So like, if I use that Phrygian dominant, but this time I do it in E, right? That's our palette. We can just start off with E, and then we can add the other notes underneath it. It's developing using against a drone, and in this case, a chord can be a drone. I'm so curious whether or not you guys are gonna fucking. I fucking love music so goddamn much, but sometimes, you know, I take the wrong turn. Hear how static the bass is? The bass is just constantly doing the same fucking thing. It's like a foundation for a house, and the singing and the other instruments are building a foundation, building a house against that foundation, and then they'll take off and go somewhere else. Let's go. Dude, this is so completely different than the other stuff. Also, just because you use one note and one sound doesn't mean you can't have a lot of variety. And a lot of these sections are basically doing the same thing, but they're using the rhythmic foundation is changing. But then the rhythmic foundation repeats a bunch. So like there's still a logical cohesion between all of the sections, right? Sorry, I won't play that much this time. But like, let's say, right, we could go. Two elements. I got the pitch, the rhythm. I can keep the pitch, change the rhythm. Oh, let's do a different one. And you have a whole different set of ideas because now the underlying rhythmic foundation is changed even though the pitch is the same. Or we haven't done anything, we just changed the rhythm. But if you've ever jammed with people, you can do something as simple as changing the rhythm of a single note and then everyone else will do something way fucking cooler. Sorry, I'm in a good mood, man. Abrupt ending. That's another thing too, right? Whenever you're gonna write a song, you go like, okay, the song's cool. How the fuck are we gonna end it? You know, it used to be really popular, super, right? You have to fade out. You just play, volume fades out. You can just abruptly go, hey, we're gonna play it this many times. We're gonna play it 7 times, 6 times, whatever. It's also funny when you don't do a predictable number. So we're gonna play it 5 times, not 4, not 2, 5 times. And on 5, we just end that motherfucker, it's over. All right, let's see what you guys think about this. Not that I can really change though. I mean, I guess if you were to tell me you hated this, maybe just make the musical example shorter. I can only talk about what I'm inspired to talk about. I guess, I mean, I appreciate your comments and your criticism, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't know. Fuck it. On to the next one.